You have to be strong now. Have you heard things like that? Did it feel good? Let's investigate. So I read some time ago a story of a woman who gave birth to a child via C-section. C-sections hurt. I've had 2 of them. Now, she has the C-section and comes out of the experience complaining of intense pain. That makes sense. She just had a surgery, a big surgery. It's a big deal. Ask my husband. He watched it. So anyhow, she complains of intense pain. And I read this article, quite some time ago. The details, I'm not trying to be perfect about the details. The point is, perhaps maybe a year and a half later, a lot of time goes by and she's still complaining of pain. Now, me just wondering through the situation, I wonder what types of things she may have heard. For example, I'm pretty sure she heard things like, you've got to be strong now. You've got a baby. Think about this bundle of joy that you have. So the message is be strong and toughen up and don't complain about your feelings, what you're really feeling. And let me back that statement up with, think about the baby. The baby needs you. You just got to push through. It is a painful thing. But the wound was still there, hurting. Now, maybe a year and a half later, she finally gets someone able to investigate, and they find a surgical instrument had been left behind inside of her body after the surgery. So obviously that was going to cause enormous amounts of pain. Now that the item has been found, located, the source of the pain has been located, they can remove that hardware that's not supposed to be there, and then close her up again. And guess what? She's going to start to heal. She's going to start to recover in a way that's appropriate for that situation. And our hearts are somewhat like this situation. We go through an experience that's very painful. It should be painful. Someone dies, there's a huge falling out with a friend or a family member, someone moves away. Maybe you move away. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe you just quit your job to take a newer and maybe better situation for your family. Whatever it may be, your health changes. We don't know. Maybe you recently got married. That's a huge change. And change, we know, produces an emotional effect in our heart, and it's called grief. When change produces an emotional situation in our heart, it's called grief. Grief is like a conflicting set of emotions, somewhat like maybe the mom might have felt. I have this baby, and she's probably got joy and excitement to have this baby, as well as exhaustion and tiredness and pain. She has it all at the same time. And that's normal with grief too, with your emotional self. You might have moments of happiness. It doesn't erase the pain that's going on, right? And maybe you tell yourself, you just got to be strong. You try to steel yourself through this painful time of just reminding yourself that you got to be strong. Maybe other people are telling you that you need to be strong. And the thing is, it's such a messy message, because really the underlying meaning of the message is you need to stop being honest about your emotions. Just toughen up, quiet down, and push on through. And that kind of connects with just give it some time, and time will magically fix it. But just like the lady complaining of pain maybe a year and a half later, because there was still a root cause that wasn't being dealt with, your emotional health is the same way. Until we, I don't like the word dig, but until we investigate and use the tools of the grief recovery method, which is designed to help you find the root cause, and then we can remove what's been left behind, which is an actual wound. It's an emotional wound. Until we get to the root cause and do some proper recovery work, you're still going to complain of pain. Maybe you don't complain out loud. Maybe you hold it buried in where no one would ever know. You smile, you're productive at work, whatever it may be. But you know it's there. Even if you try to ignore it, your heart knows it's there. So sort of like that surgical instrument, we use the grief recovery method to investigate and find precise areas in need of recovery, and then use the method that's been evidence-based in helping you feel better when you hurt emotionally. It's the only method out there I'm aware of that's evidence-based to help you feel better when your heart is hurting because of a change that you've experienced. If you've tried to use that absolutely inaccurate piece of information called Be Strong, and then tried to qualify it and back it up with all the reasons you need to be strong, and it really didn't work, maybe it just backed you into a corner and prevented you from telling the truth going forward about your emotions, well, I would say let's look at that. Let's investigate that. Who taught you that? Where did it come from? Does it actually work? I'm here to tell you as a grief recovery method specialist that it does not. That message of be strong. You're so faithful. You're so brave. You're so courageous. Doesn't erase the pain. Until we dig in and find what's been left behind, you probably won't feel better. You might move through time feeling slightly different, but not actually better. We want you to feel better. When you are ready to feel better, give me a call. I love you. Talk with you next time. Bye, everybody.